Welcome to Talking DS. My name is Susan Syrek, and today we are exploring savvy ways to save money without compromising on style. So I'm very excited to have Mitz, a very talented hairdresser and salon owner of Ultimitz Hair, and she'll be joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Susan. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm very excited about our conversation that we're going to have today. And we'll be discussing practical tips for saving money when visiting the salon and how to maintain healthy hair at home. So Mitz, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. And I'm looking forward to all the exciting things that we'll be talking about today. I'm going to dive in straight away and go into my first question.
Yes.
There's been many times where I've gone to the salon and I'm getting whatever service, be it hair or hem, nails, whatever. And they try and upscale you. They try and, I feel like as though they're trying to sell me something that I don't necessarily need.
Yeah.
How do I avoid this? How do I walk away without feeling guilty or feeling as though I should have done it?
Yeah.
But said no?
So my tip for you would be, first of all, if you go to any salon in Dubai, I've learned over the years that you need to ask those questions before you even walk into the salon.
That's a good tip.
So, I mean, for nails and small services, it's a different story, right? But for hair especially, I think it's great if a salon can be transparent to share like an approximate cost with you before you even sit down in the chair, or at least after the consultation.
Yeah.
Right? It's super important for you to know what you're going to be getting at the reception when you're done with your hair. I have found that there are salons that usually have amazing deals, but it's to attract you.
Yes.
So you'll sit in the chair and then the upselling will start. I really think it's important that guests just put down their foot and say like, hey, this is what I came for, number one. And you can be gracious and you can say it with love, just like, hey, listen, I'm not up for any of the products. I've got my products at home, which I'm very happy with. And I think that just shows the skill and understanding of hairdressers. If they put very pushy, it's because figures are maybe low or there's a strategy behind it, right? The strategy is to get you in. So I would say do your homework first.
Okay.
Make sure you've got a provisional quote before you go into the salon. And then also after the consultation, you can say like, can I remove this service? Or, feel free. You should be paired with a person that you can communicate with. I think that's the most important. But I always say to guests in our salon, don't be scared if you can't afford it, or let's talk about how you can afford it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key in finding the right salon and the right stylist to work with.
Okay. And I'm going to ask a question. This is going to be a really silly question, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, when you go and you book an appointment, right? Say I'm booking a full head of highlights. If I don't pick the cut and blow? Not cut and blow. They dry the blow dry at the end. Do they just let me walk out with like hair that's wet? And like, how does that work? Do I have to have a blow dry? Are there certain things that you have to have?
Ideally, after a head of highlights, you would want to see the color while you're still in the chair.
Okay.
100%. But if I know that a client came in and her bill is X amount, and I'm talking from our salon's perspective, I would say like, okay, Susan, I see what the bill is today. I will throw in the blow dry for you. You know what I mean? It's about giving and taking. If I've got a loyal guest coming back repeatedly, it's in my best interest to add value.
Of course.
Yes. If I do see a client is a spender and she's ready to throw her money at me, then of course we will add it as a service. But I think once you've been in the business for longer than I think 3 or 4 years, you know how to train your staff to see whether the guest is open to spending. Or if the guest is a little bit, hey, I've spent X amount. So it's all about the vibe that's in the salon. But yes, to answer your question, it's nice to see what the hair looks like after, especially a head of highlights.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? Because there have been instances where a guest says, no, please don't blow dry, whatever. And then the true color is very different from a wet head of hair or just a rough dry. You can't really see the quality when it's just roughly dried. So yes, blow dries are highly recommended, but you do get salons that'll be like, hey, listen, you're a regular, or I see what you've spent. I'm going to compliment, because it's a blow dry. It's a technical thing. It's not products that's being used. So
Of course.
yes, I would vouch for salons giving that as a comp or something, you know, to add value. But depends on the climate as well. You know, if business is low, you would want a sale.
Yeah,
So
of
you'll
course.
try and push for it. But
Of course.
yes, I would
So
say
how
blow
do you
dries, yes.
How do you find like because there's so many, like on Facebook and on social media, you see so many different adverts for going, you know, like, oh, it's only 500 dirhams or it's only 200 dirhams for this. And you go in there and it like ends up costing so much money.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just,
Yes.
and you're not necessarily getting a good, and usually not getting a good service at the end of it, right? How do you avoid these pitfalls? How do you find the good salons versus the ones that are just going to keep upselling?
It's a tricky one because we're such a seasonal city. You know, now summer is dead.
Yeah.
So there are deals everywhere. And it's great. It's great for the consumer, right?
Yeah.
But the best place to always find out whether it's a legit company or, you know, they know what they're doing is obviously your Google reviews. That's number one.
Okay.
And then most of the salons that I know of are now linked to Fresher as well. So it's a booking system.
Okay.
So if you book with Fresher, for example, you're on their database. So you cannot leave a bad review. Not that Google allows that, but sometimes you get like dodgy reviews on Google and you can't really see the trueness of the establishment you're going to.
Yeah. Like
but
they get their friends and family to give them 5 stars, they make them all look like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a 500 dirham deal, if it includes like a head of highlights, a treatment, and then already that is dodgy to me because first of all, products are very expensive in Dubai because we import everything here. So your first question should be like, what are they using? How can 4 or 5 services be afforded or be packed into a 500 dirham package?
Exactly.
Right? Second thing, skilled or unskilled stylists that work on your hair, because skilled hairdressers cost you more as an owner. You know, so those are the types of things, and I know one doesn't always have the time to look at that, but I would say reviews is your first starting point.
Okay, so do your research.
Do your research. And if it's too good to be true, it usually
is.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to tell you of this story that I had when we were still living in Singapore, and I went for the cheapest option, unfortunately. I looked around, I didn't do my research, so I simply just went from salon to salon looking for the best deal. And this lady said, yep, I'll do it for X amount of money. I'm like, awesome, you're the cheapest, I'll go there. It was a disaster. I ended up having first purple hair, and then I ended up having brown hair, and I cried and I cried, and it was a disaster. And that taught me that lesson that A, I've got to do my research, and B, the cheapest isn't always the best.
Yeah. And hair is an investment.
Absolutely.
Do you know, it's like you wearing this all the time. It's your ID, you know, so... You know, I was also in that seat before. I remember I was on the consumer side as well before, right?
Absolutely.
And if you make the mistake of finding or choosing or, you know, digging out the cheapest, that's probably what you're going to get. I'm not saying that you should go to like overly priced salons and think, because you also get the flip side of it is you have guests that have gone to high-end salons and gotten even worse results.
Correct, exactly.
So it really comes back to research, number one. Look at those reviews, word of mouth. If your friend's hair is looking amazing.
That's also a great tip.
She says, person X did my hair, whatever. Hey, maybe it's a good place to try, you know? So start doing the homework at home, and I'm sure you'll end up at the right place.
Okay, so research, Google, and especially Fresher, because you were saying earlier that Fresher, they can only do reviews if they've actually been to the salon itself, as opposed to...
You can't just get onto Fresher and just post a review because you didn't like the person's consultation or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've had that in our salon. We've had a person walk in once, had a ridiculous request. We ended up saying, like, we can't support this request, whatever. and she wrote a review, but she didn't do a service in the salon.
Ah.
So, and once a review is on Google, it takes a long time to get that review out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes, I feel that one.
It's
so,
happened.
okay, what about in terms of products? What are some products that perhaps, or
That I
say,
love.
yes, love that perhaps you don't have to invest too much on that make a big difference to your hair?
Yeah. Nowadays, everybody out there is really educated about sulfate-frees and
Oh, there's so many different products now.
chemical-free and all that.
Yep.
And that's wonderful. You know, there are some really good drugstore, if I may say drugstore, or like grocery store products that you can use. And they are more on the expensive range as well.
Mhm.
I won't say to a client, you cannot use that. You know, that's not fair to a client.
Yeah.
Who's paid X amount to be in my chair in the first place. They've got the shampoos and conditioners at home. Now chuck that because I want to sell you, you know, a branded something.
Yeah.
So no. I would say my favorite products, I'll get back to that point that I finished now, but my favorite products, a little bit more on the pricier side, is K18.
Okay.
It's a really good
I've heard
investment.
about that.
Yeah. It really helps with technical wear and tear, chemically treated hair, whatever. It's my
Okay.
go-to for now.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a little bit more on the pricey side. It's very new technology on the market.
Yeah, but it works.
It works. It works. So
Okay.
investment-wise, that would be something that I would invest in,
Okay.
right?
And now we're talking shampoo, conditioner kind of investment.
Shampoo and conditioner, when a person sits in my chair and their hair looks healthy, I do not force them to buy a product out of my salon. Really, for real.
Good. No,
I
I've
say,
noticed that.
whatever you have at home, finish that, right?
Yeah.
And I can't, the brand, it's too broad of a spectrum for me to say like X product. But if you have a product that you've bought and it's not costly, fine, finish it.
Yeah.
But what I use on your hair today, if you see a difference in the next 24 hours and you like the way your hair feels, come back to me and then we will talk on buying products from me.
Okay.
So that's my angle always, an approach if someone comes in. But my hero product at the moment in the salon, and all salons actually, is K18. Olaplex is a second runner-up, but I also think there was a massive like rave and craze over Olaplex when it came in. Do you remember?
Yes, I do
and
remember
now
that.
it's gone and it's really affordable. Actually,
Yeah, it
where
seems to be.
K18 is up there now, but I
Okay.
do see it normalizing and then being slightly more affordable
Okay.
to everybody. But
Yeah.
that's like a pocket. That's like a holiday pack. You get like a little cute a mask and you just apply it on your damp hair and it really helps.
Okay.
Good conditioner, a good moisturizing conditioner especially for us here in Dubai. You can buy that from any shop.
Okay.
But read, you can see the products, it's all there. And social media and the internet is so wide and broad nowadays. We have access to all of that. So you can see what SLS means or whatever,
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if your stylist says something that's sulfate-free or chemical-free, just read up. So, but we're never pushing in the sense of you have to buy from a certain salon. If your products are working, stick to it.
Yeah, no,
Stick to it.
absolutely. Okay. What about, we've gone through so much already.
Have we? That's good. That's good. I'm happy to hear
It's
that.
awesome. Okay, so what about some common mistakes that people make with hair at home, perhaps? Like, have you seen?
Oof, that's a big one. As in color-wise or just generally at home?
Just generally at home, like
I have one for you.
Okay, tell me.
I have one for you. So I find that with blondes especially. blondes.
This is totally natural.
If you've gone blonde at a salon, right, there's a whole chemical process that you go through.
Yep.
So you have a lot of ladies that have this summer hair and winter hair. So summer hair is nice and bright and blonde, and winter hair is a slightly darker version of it. So then you go and you put a dark color over that blonde. Well, I've got news for you.
I've never done that before.
Listen, at the salon, when you bleach, you remove underlying pigment in hair.
Okay.
So those are the yellows, the browns, the oranges in the hair.
Yep.
Those pigments. And if you just put a dark color over it, it will go green. Like super green and matty, like a matte off green, icky color.
Okay.
So I've seen a lot of those boo-boos happen where clients come back because the color's either washed out or it's gone completely green and like a matty kind of color.
And it goes back to what we were saying before, like hair is an investment, right? So you spend a lot less money doing it at home and then you've got to go find a salon and panic.
Yes.
And
cuts are also a bit of a disastrous one to do at home.
Okay.
And I know, I mean, I've got kids at home. I've got teenagers. So every TikTok and Instagram hack, whatever, cut your fringe at home.
Yeah.
Those are also disasters. Those are trickier ones to fix because once you've cut your hair, you've cut your hair.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, color can still somehow be tweaked and fixed and, you know, you could
gone from purple to brown, like in my case.
Yeah. But I would say stay away from going from light to dark at home.
Okay.
That's actually a warning. Do not do it. It doesn't always work out. It's a disaster. And it will cost you double, if not triple in the long run.
Okay.
And
the hair of your health, I suppose, would be severely damaged as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay. So yes, that is my do not do at home. You can color, you can always go from dark. You can go lighter because it's easier, right?
Yep.
And if there's a disaster, you just color over it. But
there you go.
The opposite is always a bit of a problem.
Okay.
I find.
All right. So I'm going to start wrapping up here, but I want to ask one last question.
Yes.
All right. Can you share a little, like a secret or a tip about cutting hair that will help clients make their hair perhaps last longer so they don't have to keep coming back?
Yeah. So for me, my rule is every 3 to 4 months to have a trim.
Okay.
If you cannot afford a treatment or to do color regularly, cutting or trimming your hair regularly is a must.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And a cut and a trim ranges anything between, I think, 150 dirhams, say, to 350, depending where you end up.
Yep.
But the theory behind cutting hair and making it look better for longer is once that dry bits are cut off, right, the hair will communicate because there's a little line of life running through the shaft of your hair.
Yep.
And believe it or not, when you cut that dry bit off and the cuticle is exposed, your hair grows. Your hair actually grows.
Right.
So you'll think like, oh, man, my hair grows slowly. I can't cut it every 3 to 4 months. But you actually can because your hair grows about 1 centimeter and a bit a month.
Oh, wow.
So if you just cut off 1 centimeter or a bit every 3 to 4 months, your hair would be naturally in a very, very healthy state.
Okay.
So if anything,
keep that as the basic.
Trim your hair.
Okay.
A treatment is the best. They always say, sorry, let me just get my wording straight. They say the best treatment is a haircut.
I like it.
For sure.
I like it. So get rid of the dead.
Yeah. So if you can't spoil yourself and, you know, money is a little bit on the tighter side, you have to, you know, flip the coin or whatever.
Yep.
Just get a trim.
Okay.
That's it. And your hair will feel healthy and look healthy immediately.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I've had so much fun today. Can you tell the audience, please, where they can find you on social media and, of course, at your salon?
Yes. So Ultimitz Salon is located in Arjan, Al Basha South. We're in a building called Samana Greens and we shop number 3. And on social media, Instagram, we are called Ultimitz Hair and our website is ultimitzhair.com. So you can just go around. They're all interlinked. So if you click on one, you'll probably see all the other platforms. Please follow us. Please like us. We're a great salon.
Yes.
And we know what we're doing.
Yes. And I have seen your Google reviews and Fresher reviews and they are, I can promise you they are really good. Definitely worthwhile checking out. And that really wraps up this episode of Talking DS. I hope you found our tips on saving money at the salon and caring for your hair at home useful. A big thank you to Mitz for sharing her expertise today. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe, for more episodes filled with money-saving tips in the UAE. And until next time, keep stretching those dirhams.